Anonymous. This account took place in the early 70s in the state of Guerrero, in a town named Tropi. At that time, there was a small cantina almost on the outskirts of the town, very close to the main highway. The loveliest girls in the area worked there, all of them from the Sierra of Guerrero, with colored eyes and blonde hair. Many people came to this dive, including police and military. This cantina was very popular. One certain rainy night, around 10 p.m., it had few customers and they were about to close. It was raining very hard with many lightning bolts, and the wind was blowing mercilessly. But suddenly, the door burst open with a bang, and everyone saw a man standing in front of it. After a few seconds, once the shock from the noise had passed, one of the girls told the stranger that they were about to close. The man, without saying a word, entered very slowly and stopped in front of the girl who had spoken to him. This guy was wearing high leather boots up to his knees, very shiny and clean despite the mud outside, yet they were completely spotless. He wore jeans, a leather belt, a long-sleeved shirt, a hat, boots, everything black, except for the belt buckle and shirt buttons, which were gold. Moreover, he didn't appear to be wet from the rain. He was very tall and thin, with white skin, and he carried a whip coiled around his waist. This stranger commanded respect and fear by his very presence. Everyone was nervous and frightened by this unknown man. The girl who had spoken to him before said again, in a fearful voice, that they were about to close, to which he replied that he had heard her the first time. Not knowing what to say, the girl fell silent. Again, the newcomer's words were heard. How much do you all earn in one night? Including the owner, with everything and the business? Not knowing what to say, they went to fetch the owner of the business, whose name I will omit and refer to her as the boss. Upon entering the hall, the owner saw this strange character standing, watching the few customers who were still there, hurriedly finishing their drinks, already getting ready to leave. After observing him for a few seconds, she says, "Good evening, sir, welcome, but excuse us, we are about to close." The visitor replies, "Yes, I want you to close for tonight and for these gentlemen to leave, but you will continue working until dawn. I want you and your women to attend to me during this time, and I will pay you very well." All this while showing her some gold coins he gave as an advance. The boss and the girls, seeing the money, were encouraged to attend to the stranger and, obeying his orders, bid farewell to the clients, who left without saying a word, and they closed the door. This is as much as those clients commented on afterwards. After they left, nothing more was known for a while. What I will tell you next is the account of one of the girls who stayed that night, and this only came to light much later. None of them wanted to say anything, since 3 of her companions committed suicide a few days after that night. For her part, the boss never said anything. She evaded questions and became very upset when asked about it, gripped by tremendous fear when remembering that night, as it was the last time that cantina operated. She closed it forever and dedicated herself to other things. The account of this girl is as follows. That night, after closing the cantina, we were left alone with the stranger. He would ask for the most expensive drinks, and for each drink, he paid us with gold coins. We all formed a line, and he gave 3 gold coins to each of us. There were 11 women in total, including the boss. For each dance piece we performed, he gave us the same, all of us. But his condition was that all the money he paid us had to be earned while dancing. He even got involved with 3 girls, the very ones who ended up committing suicide. At times, he would sit near the bar and ask us things about the town, about the whereabouts of some people from there. He even gave us the impression that he knew the people he was asking about. But he also asked things that, to me, made no sense. At times, I didn't understand what he was saying. It was like his questions had no meaning. He would notice this and just laugh, mocking us. It must have been around 3:30 in the morning when I noticed that the 4 large pots, alas, were full of gold coins, and the boss was just silent and observing. I asked her what was wrong, and she said to me, very fearfully, "Have you noticed that the pots are full of gold?" To which I happily replied yes, that I was very happy about it. But she told me quietly, "But how do you think he's doing this? He can't be carrying that much money in his pants pockets. Besides, look, no matter how much he drinks, the alcohol doesn't affect him, and he hasn't even gone to the bathroom since he arrived." This filled me with terror. I didn't know who he was. I told the boss she was right, he would just reach into his pants pocket and pull out handfuls of gold coins and pay us all. Moments later, the boss asked me who had brought the pots from the kitchen, but I didn't know what to say. Then she told me that man was the devil, and that he was there with us. I nearly soiled myself hearing this. I noticed he turned to look at us and asked, "What are you muttering about over there?" "The party is here, so come to me." I was dying of fear. The boss told me to bring more liquor to the table, and I did so. And he, with the same motion, took out coins and paid us all. I no longer wanted to receive the money. The party continued for a few more moments. "Around 5 in the morning," he said, "it's time for me to retire. I really enjoyed being here. I will come for you, and I will take you to a very special place." He had barely finished saying this when the door opened, just like the first time, but on this occasion, there was a huge horse waiting, making no movements. That animal seemed to have fire in its eyes and appeared to be snorting smoke from its muzzle. Then we began to smell sulfur. The stranger got up and said, "Remember, I will come for you. You are mine now." He walked away, smiling in a mocking tone, and mounted the horse. But as he did this, we clearly saw his legs grow to the height of the horse, in such a way that he simply lifted his right leg and was mounted without any further effort. Then the horse galloped away at an incredibly fast speed, and we noticed the horse's hooves sparked as it started its run. We just stood there silently at the door, watching that rider disappear into the total darkness. Breaking the silence, the boss told us, "Girls, you are very drunk and tired. Stay here and sleep, and when we get up, we'll divide all the money." My companions and I were dead with fear because of what we had witnessed. We didn't want to go out into the street and agreed to sleep there with the boss. Around 1 in the afternoon, I heard the boss wake up, and I also got up. The 3 girls that man had been with said they couldn't sleep and felt very sick, that they just wanted their share of the money and go home to tend to themselves. We all gathered in front of the pots to take out the money, but we realized there were no gold coins inside. The only thing we found was horse manure and that horrible sulfur smell coming from all the pots. Seeing that, we were terrified and began to cry, scream, and some to pray. The boss confirmed to us all that it was the devil who had been with us and began to tell us what she had already told me in the early morning. About it being too much money to have in his pockets, about the alcohol not affecting him, and more things she had noticed that weren't normal for an ordinary person. After that, everyone went home, and the boss stayed alone since she lived there. We never worked again, and that cantina was never reopened. Days later, I learned of the girls' suicides. They had killed themselves almost on the same days. Nothing more was ever known of that place. This has been my account, and I swear it truly happened. If you like horror stories, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications, as we try to upload new material every week. Before ending the video, we will select the winner of the contest. And the winner is Jacqueline Aguilar. Many congratulations! Please get in touch with me via inbox or email to coordinate the shipping. Until next time. Applause.